We have Patrick Reader, Mark Harris, Sandy Kerr, myself.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Reader, second. Kerr, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, RHS, Robotics STEM Lab proposal.
Hi, my name is Marquise Johnson, and I work with wiring and programming within the robotics team.
Hi, I'm Daniel Menderos. I am going to be leading manufacturing and CADing for next year, which is going to be my second year on the team.
Hi, my name is Emily Prolo. I work with our marketing team, and I'm an operator, and I fly the drones, and I'm going to be a sophomore.
I'm Joseph Brands, and I'm the Vice President of the robotics team.
I'm Wesley Karkiewicz. I am the President of the robotics team. This is my 4th year doing the team, and I started the team. So today we have a proposal for an opportunity we've seen in our district to expand our robotics team to service every student in our school district. Our main purpose here is to talk about the main benefits of robotics, how it helps students succeed outside of school or once they graduate, and then our solution to try to expand our team to actually achieve these goals. So the benefits of the robotics team is that it's basically a great introduction for students to get into STEM in general. So not only students are doing school and they're doing science and math, one of the first things they ask is like, why am I learning this place? Every lot of application and this kind of stuff. Robotics is that answer. So doing robotics, you learn tons of stuff like programming, engineering, business management, and marketing. All skills that students can learn. And the programming and engineering aspect is the application of stuff that students learn in school. Another benefit that our robotics program has had so far is volunteers that we had from sponsors that sponsor our team from Air Force and NASA. One of our mentors, or two of our mentors are here today, Mr. Zerby, who's a teacher mentor in the district, and Mr. Boschbach, who works at NASA, and he is one of our mentors on the team. So another benefit that we have is this robotics program is really good for applying for colleges and stuff. It makes students look super competitive. The majority of top elite colleges, a large percentage of students are actually students who go through robotics programs. And not only for college, but robotics programs also help students get careers right out of high school, learning skills from machinist, welder, basic management skills to try to get a managing position. All skills they can learn outside of college so they can get a job right out of high school. Joe, you want to talk about some stuff?
One of the biggest problems we have right now is what? Oh, stuff I've learned. Okay. I've learned a lot. I mean, I've even gotten to the point where I've gotten pretty decent at even welding aluminum, which is really hard. And there's probably 3 people in the entire welding program who can do it. And I mean, they've really helped push a lot of the learning and that kind of stuff that we need to, have a future, in any sort of future. And I think most of us in robotics have leaned towards a future in a mechanical, electrical, any type of engineering. And
yeah.
I started off this year, and I wanted to be on the manufacturing team. I found out that wasn't quite for me, and I bounced around with things that you can do in the robotics, and there really is a lot. There really is a lot you can learn from the robotics team and in STEM programs. I also started this year wanting to be a forensic scientist. I have learned that may not be the field I want. I want to go into aerospace engineering now, and robotics is definitely going to look good on a college application. I've learned a lot about marketing. I've been in contact with big companies like Pepsi is one of them currently to see if we can get sponsors. I started to learn CADing. I don't necessarily have the patience for CADing, so there's a lot of different things you can do with robotics because there's so many different parts. There's programming and there's the design factors, and it just varies from person to person as to what you want.
Yeah, I want to be a mechanical engineer once I graduate from college. And I just heard about this robotics team at the beginning of the year from another member on our team. His name is Jared. He just pulled out paper at lunch and he was like, "You want to come check this out with me?" To me and a couple other members. And we were like, "Okay, sure." And yeah, but things that I've learned, I've never really worked with anything like this before. Like I've helped with a little small construction projects or something with my grandfather or something, but I've never really built a complex robot like this. And like we've been talking about, it's a great opportunity for people like that to just learn. And like Emily said, we have a lot of different aspects of the job, like manufacturing and designing is one part, but we also have business opportunities, like taking care of the budget and stuff.
Okay, within the robotics team, I've learned programming and wiring, and because of that, I feel like I have knowledge that would be essential for what I'm doing. I want to be a computer engineer. And I've also found out that because of our two great mentors and the older students, they have helped push knowledge onto us. They don't do it themselves. They help us work along with it, and that helps with great leadership skills. And I also find that it helps because next year we're going to have different people, obviously, and we'll find a way to help them know what they're doing, just like how our mentors helped us find our way.
So these are all the benefits that just students at our high school have participated in. So along with these benefits, we basically want to try to expand this so students outside of our high school can participate in this program, along with trying to recruit more students at our high school to participate in the team. One of the major barriers that our team has been facing in the past 3 years is limited working space. So far, we're currently working in the old staff lounge behind the art room, and it's a great room we've been working in, but we can't be productive with more than 15 members. So our team has relatively been capped up to 15 students participating in one-time robotics program, which has severely limited our ability to try to recruit middle schoolers and elementary students. So we've had middle schoolers work in the shop, but we've only been able to have 2 or 3 at a time because of the limited space we've had. Jerry, you can talk about some problems we have during build season.
One of the biggest problems with our build season, which I was going to say earlier, but we have no room in the robotics room to do anything. Like, we'll have it filled with everybody. There's going to be people programming, people designing, people working on marketing, and that doesn't give us enough room for us over here in manufacturing, building the robot or practicing with the robot and doing all this sorts of stuff to do what we need to do in order to get to the competition and compete with the bigger schools like Lancaster. You guys know they've gone to Worlds a lot. And this being our first year there and being such a new team, we are surprised we were able to do that. We were only able to do that because we got help from them at their shops, because they have bigger shops and they have, the room to do it. And I feel if we had a big room, we might be able to actually compete. You guys would be able to see us at Worlds a whole lot more often, and we'd be the talk of the district, the talk of the town, maybe even the talk of the valley. We really want to do that one day.
So that leads me to the next topic is, so we've seen an opportunity in the district to actually try to expand the robotics team to create essentially a district-wide STEM lab to enable any student in our district from K through 12 to participate in robotics and eventually other STEM programs such as science and lab, math leads, rocketry, and other STEM activities that's offered by the PLTW. So basically just an enrichment center to allow students to participate in and learn stuff that would normally not have the opportunity to do so otherwise. So the facility we want to cover is the old cafeteria in Rosamond Elementary. We want to basically turn the entire facility into a huge shop. Essentially what we have in high school is we don't want it just for robotics. We want to make sure it's open up for teachers to use during school days to have science activities or lessons that are teacher curriculum that is relation to STEM in any way. And we want the facility to be open after school at any time for any students to come in and participate in activities. So the primary program that we want to focus on and do inside the STEM lab is participate in the FIRST robotics program. So FIRST is a global program that has basic competitions for robotics, and it's basically like a competitive season to give a robotics team like a global sport to play. The main reason we want to try focusing on FIRST the first year is FIRST is established, it's proven, we've participated in 3 years so far, and we have a good experience with it, and FIRST is focused on trying to expand curriculum and inspiring students to participate in STEM. So for our first year, we focus mainly on doing FIRST. For the second and third year of the STEM lab, we will then, once we are established and have tools and equipment and mentors, or more mentors, we would then expand to other programs and make the shop more a broader focus than just robotics. So there's 4 programs in the first Lego, which is basically kids work on building small Lego kits that expand projects in the community. It's a good way to introduce little kids into STEM and really get them excited. Next up is then FTC, which is for middle school students. Basically build miniature versions of that and compete in smaller, cheaper competitions. We would have a few dozen teams from middle school, like each science teacher would have like their own team kind of. And it would basically be training them for participating in high school team. And then the high school team would be FRC, which we would expand from our current 15 members to try to expand up to 40 or 50 members on the team. And FRC is the main thing that all the students here currently have worked through so far. But to try to get, but so far students have only really been exposed to first and ninth grade higher because we only have robotics at the high school. So we want to try to start off students younger, so then we have more students in the high school team and like have a more broad robotics program. And one of the major benefits of having, another major benefit of having a robotics team in the elementary school, having all the programs in one shop, is kids will then grow up doing STEM and engineering. So they will grow really wanting to do STEM, and they're accustomed to it. It's not how the norm to do it, like something you want to do, just like how you would want a kid to start from T-ball to get into baseball. Same thing with robotics, we start them off with Legos in the beginning so they get into baseball. But one of the cool things about doing robotics is that everyone in the program can go pro. While they're in baseball after high school, you have a really small chance to try and get pro in the real world. In STEM, the second year out of high school, you can just be an engineer right out of the bat. Everyone can become an engineer. So with moving into this, the costs associated with trying to do the STEM conversion are listed right here. We'll go into more detail with each individual cost, but the robotics team is working towards trying to fundraise money and try to supplement some of these costs. We recently got $10,000 from the Air Force Base, which we're going to try to spend to try to kickstart the use in this. But the major costs we see so far with doing this move is converting room 12, 13 into basically a miniature cafeteria to be the replacement for the old cafeteria. To do that, we'll have to remove carpet in there, lay down tile. We'll have to move tables in there, which we can use tables in the old cafeteria or whatever schools see fit to do. We'll have to get the rooms painted and then redo some of the floors there. So that will be one of the major costs, which the team will try to help with either like maybe students volunteering to go do the service or fundraising to pay for that. And the other source of costs is actually converting the cafeteria into the STEM lab. So the only real costs that the district will pay for that aspect is just paying for having all the pitch equipment moved out. The robotics team will be able to pay for filling up the equipment, moving all of our stuff from the shop over there, to be able to supply the room. Basically, the robotics program, after the cafeteria is laid out, the robotics program will be able to pay for anything else. We'll be able to pay for machine equipment, parts, registration fees, everything.
Is there any questions about that?
Yeah. So before we finish, we have a video that is a compilation of what we've done so far this season.
Start on
So there's a few materials, pamphlets that go into more detail exactly about the benefits, the costs, and how to basically the overall summary provided by First about their programs for LEGO and for FRC. And then the other book is a scrapbook of all the newspaper clippings that we've been featured in the past 3 years. So one of the major goals of why I started this team is I want to try to make a reputation for our town to be seen as a robotics team, just like how some teams are, towns are recognized for their high school football team. I kind of want the same excitement and like community support for the robotics team. So far, I think we've achieved that so far with all the newspaper clippings we've had, really making a name of our town for this. So the STEM Lab would really help us really get to the next step and really help our town become a draw in the valley, where people want to move to Rosamond just so their kids can participate in this kind of stuff. And we'll be one of the first people in the valley to really do a vertical integration of K through 12 for doing STEM and robotics. I think that's it.
Wesley, the board, or on behalf of your team, they want to present this to you for being the president. It says Circuit Serpents, FRC 6060, Wesley, and his last name, robotics team president, August 2017 through June 2018. And here you go. That's from your. And a couple things. These guys by far out fundraise any other program we have. Like they said, they just got $10,000 donation. I mean, how much money in donations last year?
Last year? I think
Last season.
Oh, last season. So last season, I think the total amount of money we fundraised to run our FRC program was just shy of $50,000 this year. Yeah. And that's solely just for the high school robotics team. Most of that money was spent buying us equipment and paying for registration costs. And now that since we have majority of equipment and registration costs, we can get around the same amount of money next year to expand and buy equipment for elementary school girls. So majority of the costs for the district would be negligible to none, because our robotics team would be able to acquire most of the money that we need. The only real cost currently of doing this is the room.
And then it's, anyone says it's not a contact sport, Daniel broke his arm during robotics in Houston. So. Thank you guys.
Does anybody have any questions about this? With the robot or whatever? I'm glad to show it off to you guys.
Inside? Or do we have to wait for outside?
You can look at it right now if you want to.
Go ahead.
They want to see it shoot the box.
Oh, you want to see it shoot the box? I can't promise I won't take out your projector.
Alright, Joey, you know you just...
Yeah.
So, just to ask to be recognized, my name is David Voracek. I'm an engineer out at NASA, and as they're setting up, I'm going to fill in the time here. So, sometimes it doesn't start up right away. But I've been involved with robotics here for the last 10 years. We helped out Lancaster High School as my kids went through that program and that. And then I retired from Lancaster mostly to concentrate on the Antelope Valley Regional that we brought here last year. I think, Mr. Weinstein, you came to it and participated in the event. You'll see it's bigger than a basketball game and that. And so, working at NASA, and working with students, you see all the growth from freshmen all the way through the high school. It's just unbelievable. And I think Wesley's a very persuasive young man. Skills that I think he's learned through robotics and everything. But heard I retired from Lancaster and said, hey, why don't you come help us for a couple years and get us moving along? And so, NASA worldwide, well, the United States, we put about $5 million into the program over the last, several years, just because, $20 million over the last 5 years, just because of the program and the benefits NASA gets out of that, and the same with Lockheed, Northrop, and other companies. The benefits we get out of it is starting to, work with students, get them to know our individual companies, and then pull them in internships and that. And Wesley and these guys failed to mention there's like millions and millions of dollars of scholarships available for students. And so, and I think what Wes said was really good. Rosamond would have a first opportunity to build a comprehensive program from K to 12 if they had the room to move into and really pull that together and keep a program from K to 12. So that's an opportunity I think Rosamond's unique in, because down in Lancaster, Palmdale, you know, high school district is separate from all the elementary schools, so they really wouldn't be able to do that. So there's a unique opportunity up here that we could expand and work the program and try to see how we can build Rosamond up into, you know, a good program. So, Wes, you ready?
Yeah.
Heard that one before.
Yeah. I use my music card.
You safe over there, Coleman? I doubt it.
I'll make sure
You
to
guys
get
stand
the
in
door.
front so you don't hit Mr. Coleman.
Don't hit Mr. Coleman.
Yeah.
It's their chance.
This might be the only chance I get, so.
So one of the skills they learn is how to troubleshoot mechanical systems. When it doesn't work right, you know, they have to figure out and troubleshoot it, whether it's a wiring issue or mechanical or
Wi-Fi getting disabled on computers.
yeah, computers, programming. You know, which was really interesting at championships in Houston. There was a slight programming error that didn't seem to get the robot to work right, and Lana, our first year programmer, first year on the student team, she dove into the program and was able to figure it out and fix the problem. So the next match we succeeded in what we were trying to do. So it was pretty amazing, you know, a young freshman woman being able to pull that out in her first year programming. And I think she's one of the people that I like to see is, you know, these young people, they get in their, very shy people, not very outgoing. And here she is fixing a major problem on the robot first year. So, you know, they come out of their shells. So, Wes, you done yet?
Yeah, it's connecting it right now.
Yay.
You had to reboot.
Jeopardy music plays in there.
There we are connected. Just gotta enable it. Okay, you ready? Sure they get the right controls, buddy. Okay, enable it. Be careful. Yeah,
Oh shit, I want it. Alright, let me get close.
you have more space to drag.
Plan, right?
That thing's quick.
Yes, it is.
And the competition in Houston's crazy. It took up the entire bottom floor of the convention center.
6 playing fields all at the same time.
And that was just for that, and then on the other levels were the other first Lego and junior competition.
And we invite you all, I'm running the Antelope Valley Regional, Aerospace Valley Regional again, so it's right down the street in Lancaster at Eastside High School. So, Mr. Weinstein came in, I think I'm saying that right?
Yes.
He came down and, Emily gave him a nice tour of the whole thing. Your impressions would be?
It was fun. One thing I think was really impressive was when we went to the pits, and you visit each pit, and each pit, the team members that are there talk to you about their robot, talk to you about their, kind of their goals, talk to you about their strategies, what they're going to do in the competition, and how they're going to partner up, and different things like that. And there was a team from Turkey, was it? There was a team from Turkey.
There's supposed to be a team from Ethiopia.
Yeah, and so, but there are teams from all over, and it was really impressive. And of course, then watching the competitions itself is just crazy. It's really fun to watch, and it was really fun to see how enthusiastic not only the teams were during the competition, but the crowd was during the competition. So it was fun. I was very impressed.
Yeah, that concludes everything. I'd like to thank the board for their time, your presentation. I look forward to hearing. Do you need that?
Oh yeah. Come on down. She wants her Come on.
He was gonna make it better.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh yeah.